Alright, now this time, in this video, I'm going to be answering a fill-in-the-blank question from reading passage number 3. So this particular example comes from the Cambridge IELTS book, book number 9, test number 3, reading passage number 3. So as you already know by now, the questions from reading passage number 1 and number 2 are much more easier in comparison to reading passage number 3. So this one is going to be a little bit trickier than the questions from reading passage number 1 and number 2. So let's take a look at how to answer this question set. So here is our reading passage number 3. Like always, we are going to go straight to the questions, and we're going to first start off by paying attention to how many words we can write for our answers. In this case, we cannot write any more than 2 words per answer. So now that we know that we are looking for 2-word answers, we can now go ahead and start to underline or circle the different keywords in each one of these questions. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now with my highlighter, and I will start highlighting the different keywords. So you might notice that over here you can see that this article is about the Voyager 1 space probe. So for that reason, since the entire article is on this Voyager 1 space probe, these keywords are not going to be very helpful for me. So for that reason, I'm not going to underline the word probe, because the whole article is about probes. So this is going to be a repetitive keyword, and this is a keyword that's going to appear throughout the reading passage. So it's not really going to help me to identify where I can locate the answers for numbers 33 and 34. So for that reason, I'm not going to count this as my keyword. I'm simply going to move on to other keywords. For example, transmitted pictures. So that's the keyword here for our first question. And then down here, we see something about freezing temperatures. Now, we don't have to really mark the keywords here since we don't have a question here, but I'm still doing that because remember, fill-in-the-blank questions are always in order. So that means that if I see the keyword freezing temperatures somewhere, or synonym for freezing temperatures, then I know that the answer to number 35 is going to come after this keyword. So for that reason, I also have marked this keyword as well. Something about negative effect, gonna mark that as well. Something about scientists, and specifically scientists fearing, they are fearing something. That's also a keyword. And something has stopped working or was about to stop working. That's another keyword. Distance is a keyword. Communication is a keyword. Difficult is a keyword. Replace is also a keyword, to replace. It seems that the only hope was to tell the probe to replace them. It seems that something needs to be replaced. And then for number 37, transmit the message at a very fast speed, the speed of light. Great. And then I don't really care about this so much. So now let's see which one of these questions are going to be the easiest ones for us to solve. So you might remember what I like to do personally is I like to put a check mark next to the easy ones so that I can tackle those first, and then I can return to the more difficult questions at the end after I have solved all the easy ones from this question set. So transmitted pictures, that should be easy enough to find. This should be easy to find as well, but I'm not going to mark it since this is not a question. And this is going to be easy to find. Speed of light, that's going to be easy to find. There's not really going to be very many synonyms for the speed of light. There's really only one way to communicate the fact that we are talking about the speed of light. So that's going to be easy to find. So let's go back to our reading passage now, and I'm going to start off by looking for this keyword, transmitted pictures. But here's another thing that I'm doing. I have also glanced over each one of these keywords so that if I see them in the reading passage, I'm going to mark them. So it's not like I'm only looking for one keyword at a time. I have glanced over these keywords and I kind of have the rest of these keywords in the back of my mind so that if I happen to see them in the reading passage, I can mark them. Okay, so it's good to have the other keywords in the back of your mind as well while you are looking for the specific keyword to a specific question. So now let's go ahead and look for this keyword, transmitted pictures. Okay, transmitted pictures, and take note that I'm not reading every single word, I'm only scanning. Here we go, images. So images is a synonym for pictures. So you might remember that I've mentioned several times by now that you are not going to find the exact keywords most of the times, almost never. You are almost always going to find synonyms. So you have to be looking for synonyms. You have to be mindful of the fact that you will have to search for the synonyms of the keywords because you are not going to find the exact keywords. So spectacular images, we have found it here. And it seems that our answer is very likely to be here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back down and I'm going to look at the surrounding words. So I'm going to read this question again. The probe transmitted pictures of both. So that is our surrounding word. We know that we are looking for something related to two of them. There's going to be a pair. So we are looking for two things, both dash and dash, then left the dash. Okay, so the surrounding words are both and left. So those words are the connecting words, and those words are going to tell us what is the correct answer that is going to fit here. Both and left. So let's see if we can find that. So I'm going to start reading this sentence now, since this is the sentence in which this keyword appears. The space probe, Voyager 1, launched in 1977, had sent back spectacular images of Jupiter and Saturn. Alright, so here are the two things that we were looking for. Jupiter and Saturn. And then soared out of the solar system on a one-way mission to the stars. So soared out is a synonym for something. Can you guess what it is? Take a look. Soared out is a synonym for left, to leave behind, to go outside, to soar out. Okay, so that is the synonym for left, and we have found our answer. The answer to the next part is solar system. So here are the answers. The first answer is Jupiter and Saturn. We're going to put that in green. And then our second answer is over here, solar system. Solar system. So those are the answers. And let's go ahead and fill them in. Both Jupiter and Saturn. By the way, it doesn't matter which one you put first. In this case, the correct answer is Jupiter and Saturn. So it doesn't matter if you put Saturn first and Jupiter next. That does not matter. Okay, so number 33 is Jupiter and Saturn, and number 34 is solar system. That is the correct answer for number 34. So now that I have answered this easy question first, now I'm going to go straight down to my next easy question, which is number 37. and I'm going to be looking for these keywords: transmitting the message and speed of light. Speed of light should be especially easy to find, so let's go ahead and look for that now. Actually, the phrase speed of light appears right here, and I did not expect that. Isn't that crazy? So the word speed of light, the phrase speed of light, appears in the same paragraph. Guys, what does that tell us? So we have found our keyword here, speed of light, and that means that we are going to find our answer to the last question, which is question number 37. We are going to find the answer for question number 37 in the same paragraph. What this means is that since the answers to number 33 started over here, and then number 37 ends over here, that means that all our answers are going to be within this part right here. All the answers are sandwiched between these keywords. So all the answers we're going to find right here. So that's great. So you might remember that speed of light was one of our keywords. The other thing that we were looking for was a way of communication. So message sent out. Message sent out is a synonym for this part right here, transmit the message. That's the other keyword that we were looking for, transmit the message. So that we're going to find our answer in that sentence for sure. So let's take a look at this one more time. I want to read this to make sure that I know which answer is going to correctly fit into this sentence. So let's read it one time. A dash was used to transmit the message at the speed of light. Okay, so this tells us that something was used. Something was used. So our answer is going to be a noun. It's going to be a noun because it has to be something. Something was used to transmit the message at the speed of light. Now, we just have to find out what that was. So we are going to start reading this sentence from the beginning, since this is the sentence in which our keywords appear. So we're going to start off right here. By means of a radio dish belonging to NASA's Deep Space Network, the message was sent out into the depths of space. Okay, so by means of a radio dish. That seems to be our answer. I'm going to read the next sentence as well regarding the speed of light. So here we go. Even traveling at the speed of light, it took over 11 hours to reach its target, far beyond the orbit of Pluto. Okay, so there's nothing here in this sentence about using something to transmit the message. So our answer is going to be right here in this sentence. And we can see in this sentence what was used to transmit the message. It says by means of a radio dish. So that means that the radio dish was used to send out the message, and that's going to be our answer. Radio dish. So in this case, what I'm going to do is next to it, I'm just going to put number 37. I found my answer to number 37 here. I'm going to put number 33 and also number 34. We found two of our answers right here in this line. So 33 is here, 34 is also here, 37 is down here. That means that 35 and 36 have got to be somewhere in between here, since fill in the blank questions are always in order. So now let's go ahead and take a look at what our next question is. So we are done with this. We are done with this. I'm just going to fill in the answer over here. Radio dish was our answer. And now let's move on to number 35. Let's see if we can find something related to scientists being afraid of something and something that has stopped working or is not going to work. So scientists feared and stopped working. Those are our keywords, and we are not just going to be looking for the keywords, but also for the synonyms of the keywords. So let's see if we can do that. Okay, here's something about freezing temperatures. Do you remember that freezing temperatures was mentioned in this sentence right here? So this is not a question, but what it tells us is that the answer to number 35 is going to come after the mention of freezing temperatures. So it's going to come after the keyword freezing temperatures. And the other thing to take note of is that the answer to number 35 is a two-part answer. The connecting words are both. So we are looking for two things. So it seems that scientists are fearing two things. So here's that mention of freezing temperatures, and it says that the probe was beginning to show its age. That seems to be some sort of a problem that the probe is running into. On the brink of failing. This looks like something to be worried about. This looks like something that scientists would be afraid of. Also, take note that here they have used the phrase NASA experts. What is that a synonym for? Scientists. NASA experts is a synonym for scientists. So you have to be mindful of synonym language like this, because you're going to see a lot of this type of language throughout the reading test. So now we know that this is something that scientists are fearing. Something is on the brink of failing. So we can now go ahead and read this sentence. I want to read this now since we have found two of our keywords here. So let's read it. Sensors and circuits were on the brink of failing, and NASA experts realized that they had to do something or lose contact with their probe forever. So what was on the brink of failing? What two things? The answer is right here. Sensors and circuits. These are the two things that were on the brink of failing. So I'm going to put 36 over here, since that is where we have found our answer. And let's go back down and fill it in. Number 35. This is number 35. Sensors and circuits. Number 35. So I'm going to correct that because up here I put 36. The correct answer is 35. It is for number 35 down here. Somewhere there. Great. So now we know that our answer to number 36 is going to be in this sentence right here. So let's go back to number 36. Let's see what this question was asking us. The only hope was to tell the probe to replace them with dash. So replace them with something. With something. It seems that the answer here is going to be a noun. We are looking for something that the probe was to be replaced with. But distance made communication with the probe difficult. Okay, so we are looking for, our main keyword here is replace. We are looking for what the probe was to be replaced with. And the scientists are trying to replace the probe with something, but the distance made this difficult. So let's see what that was. So number 36 is going to be somewhere in here between 35 and 37. So I'm just gonna scan again. So here we see something about the distance. 12 billion kilometers is synonym for distance, a huge distance. So that is one of our keywords. It was not an easy task, okay? Not an easy task. So that means that it was a difficult task. So we have found 2 of our keywords. Now we are looking for something that this could be replaced by, something that the probe could be replaced by. Actually, here is a mention of the solution, because they are trying to replace the probe with something in order to solve a problem. So maybe our answer is in here. So let's read this sentence. The solution was to get a message to Voyager 1 to instruct it to use spares to change the failing parts. Alright, I don't know if you see the synonym here, but to change is our synonym for replace. To change is the synonym for replace. So we have found 3 of our keywords here, so our answer is definitely in here somewhere. So the solution was to get a message to Voyager 1 to instruct it to use what? To use what? We are trying to replace the failing parts, but by using what? By using spares. So spares is the correct answer. Spares. That is the correct answer. So now our answer makes perfect sense. The only hope was to tell the probe to replace them with spares. But distance made this whole thing more difficult. Great. So we have now answered all of our questions, and we are now done with our practice set number 2.